Good evening. We're going to call the Toledo Public Schools Board of Education regular meeting to order for Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. If you would like to stand for a moment of silence, we'll take a moment of silence for reflection. So if you want to take a deep breath, think about this question: how can I serve my community today with passion, compassion, integrity, and purpose? Whether it's through our roles as educators, leaders, neighbors, or advocates, each of us has the power to make a difference. Let's take a quiet moment to reflect on how we can uplift those around us and lead with intention. Thank you for your thoughts. You be seated. Treasurer, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Parker. Here. Mrs. Varwig.
Here.
Ms. Barnes.
Present.
Mrs. Gherkin.
Here.
Mr. Vasquez. Here.
Great. And at this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have a video? Great. If you'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please do so.
Stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Dr. Durant, the mission and vision.
TPS mission to provide innovative educational opportunities that ensure each student prepared for their future. Our vision statement to empower each and every student to lead and live a purpose-driven life.
Can we hear from them too?
Yeah, do we have the video as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did the video.
Great.
Provide independent educational opportunities that ensure each student is prepared for their future. We empower each and every student to lead and live a purpose-driven life. I pledge allegiance.
That's the best part of the meeting. All right, we will move to 1.05, which is the May 19th, 2026 board agenda adoption. I'd like to entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mrs. Varwig.
Yes.
Ms. Barnes.
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin.
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez.
Yes.
Thank you. And now we'll do section 2, which is presentations, and we'll turn it over to Dr. Durant.
Ms. Mazur, please.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to recognize and congratulate the retirees for this month. We have Laura Levins, a bus driver, retiring with 29 years and 8 months of service. Sandy A. McGill, she is a science teacher at Boucher with 30 years and 6 months of service. Dorothy Moore, a secretary here at the Board of Education, 28 years and 8 months of service. And Judith Traynham, she is an MD paraprofessional at Robinson, 29 years and 11 months, for a total of 118 years and 2 months of service to Toledo Public Schools.
Incredible. Okay, we're going to move to section 3, which community comments, and we do not have anyone that has signed up for this evening. Section 4 is our organizational input, and I do know that the student and parent rep are not here this evening, so we would move to TAP, which is Mr. Emilio Ramirez.
Thank you. Just want to, say this is probably one of my toughest years in my 30-year career here at TPS, and what we've gone through, and I know we're not done. We still have some principals and administrators in place. I also feel for those parents and students that are going to make a change this coming year. Also the community that's going to leave the building, the state in their area in a couple of years. So I do know there's still some challenging times ahead of us, but I'm always optimistic. I think we're going to get through this. So I know the community that we are thinking about them through this as they are taking a big work change. Thank you.
Thank you. TFT would be Mr. Dalton. I don't see him this evening. ASME, Mr. Dale Parker. Is Mr. Parker here? No? Okay. We're going to move on to section 5, which is comments by the board. Mr. Vasquez?
The only comments I have for today's meeting is that this is graduation time, and I know they've already begun. Some of the board members and Dr. Durant and some of the leadership have already been present at some of them. So congratulations to all of our students who are graduating, and it's going to be a great season. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gergen?
Thank you. First graduation down, right, Dr. D? I was at the TAC, Toledo Early College graduation today. It's always a pleasure to see all the young people who were in such a rigorous program having not only their high school diploma, but most of them, the vast majority of them this year, graduated with an associate's degree a couple of weeks ago, even before they got their high school diploma. So it's always a pleasure to get started with graduation season. Thank you.
Ms. Barnes?
Thank you, Madam President. I have a couple little notes, so I'll try to make it quick. First, I want to recognize Asian American Pacific Islander Month, as well as Jewish Heritage Month as well. Just want to continue uplifting all of our students from various backgrounds and diversity, which brings me to my next talking point about what's going on once again at the State House. Even today in the education community, they were talking about or testimony fighting against another anti-DEI bill that's going to happen now in K through 12. And the sting of what Senator Brenner is doing and his statements about DEI needs to be removed is this came the same week, 72 years ago, anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education. And it reminded me that the fight for public education did not end in 1954. The attacks just evolved. And I am personally, not only because I am a mother, but I say this proudly that my family have fought for equitable, accessible education for all. My great great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Edmund Weisinger, won his Supreme Court case to establish his son going to public education, and that was one of the preceding cases in the Brown versus Board of Education that Thurgood Marshall used. I am very proud of what my family have fought for to make sure public education is accessible to all. I am very frustrated that once again his lineage now have to fight for the same thing he fought for in his time. You can't say you are for students, all students, and still underfund schools, erase honest education, eliminate supports, attack teachers, and then you say, well, this is not about just one type of student. We are choosing what type of student we're going to see thrive based on their zip code, their race, their gender identity, sexual orientation, income, or disability or ability. When I hear the removal of diversity, equity, inclusion, that's another thing. I'm sorry, my glasses keep fogging up, hot flashes. When I hear the removal of diversity, equity, inclusion, for me as a mother, I think of my son who is autistic. I think of the IEP measures that the teachers work with him on to make sure he is thriving with the curriculum to his learning level. I'm thinking of the wonderful ability games we just had back to back at Rogers. I didn't make it to the one at Rogers, but I went to the one at Woodward. That can be against this law because it's so vague. We don't know what it means. If we say, okay, the abilities games is for everybody, the ability to come and play at their own level, that could be discrimination against this bill if it's passed. If a teacher wants to talk about their heritage because it is a Asian American Pacific Islander Month or Jewish Heritage Month, that can be against this bill and we could get fined. This is a very dangerous bill. and we saw the impact it had on higher education. It's going to be double impacted for K through 12 because we have so many vulnerable students in our population. And I always say, if you want to take over the world, you take over the youth mind first. And that is what this administration at the federal and at the state level is trying to do. Also, I have to be knowledgeable about today is Malcolm X's birthday, and his quote on education is, "Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." What kind of future are we trying to give our kids if we're taking away the passport? And so it's really bothersome. So I'm going to go and end on a light note because it is graduation time, and we have fought and we will keep fighting to make sure our students thriving in our district. And I am really excited for our graduation season because my own baby is graduating. I am a TPS proud parent because I believe in the business product and supply that we do here. I'm not just talking about it, I'm about it, I walk it. And so I get to see my son and my community babies graduate. And I'm going to try not to cry. We'll see. I don't know. But I'm so excited for this because, sometimes you need that little moments of joy. And definitely it's been very hard. Like Mr. Ramirez said, this has been a very challenging year in education space, period. And so I think we all need to see these celebrations because we all need a little joy right now. Thank you.
Bishop Parker.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Ms. Barnes, for your comments. I think sitting in this seat, many a times once we say something, Madam President, it's like they've already heard it through the other board members. But again, this is a time where challenges are challenging, and we just have to continue in the fight. I think one of the things that I want to say before I go a little bit further is that we live in a society of the crab barrel. And the premise of the crab barrel is once a crab gets to the top, the other crab tries to come and pull it down. And I never really understood why crabs fought each other, realizing that the issue wasn't other crabs. The issue was the barrel. And with this fight against public education, I think the bigger picture for all that are affected by public education needs to see that the barrel is the fight that we're in, that is trying to destroy every component, every piece to the puzzle of public education. And so I'm saying to my colleagues and to all of you just to continue to stay in the fight, because we'll fight until we have no fight left in us. So continue to stay in the fight. I'm excited about graduation season since we've already heard that 4 times already. But last year this time I had the record, or at least last year's record, of going to every graduation. Well, that streak was broken today. I wasn't able to make it today, but I'm excited about every graduation, and also the graduation Madam President and I will do with Toledo Pre-Med and Health Science Academy, their very first graduation. So really excited about that. And just seeing our students, and regardless of what we're going through, they deserve the recognition, the honor, and the celebration for the work that they put in to be able to receive their diploma. So we're really excited. Graduation time is one of the most wonderful times of the year, and we're going to celebrate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I will add that I certainly want to thank Burroughs Elementary for the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, it's probably one of my favorite parts of our meetings because we get to bring students into our meetings, which otherwise are pretty straightforward, right? And so it's a good reminder of why we sit up here and we do what we do. I would also like to shout out to the retirees. Again, they are the backbone of this organization. They put in the work, and so congratulations to them on their retirement. Certainly wish them well. I'd like to kind of piggyback off of what Ms. Barnes said about the state continuing to attack public education. It is evident across the state of Ohio right now with so many other districts that are feeling the impact of it, whether it was 68 million or 58 million today in Cincinnati, or 50 billion times 2 in Columbus, right? Or Cleveland closing down 29 schools. This is forcing districts to do something they never thought they would have to do, and that's dismantling communities. They continue to push for vouchers and charters, and the lack of accountability reeks. We will continue as a board, I know, to continue with testimony. We will try and find the purple where we can. Unfortunately, we are, I believe, second only to Florida right now when it comes to the attack on public education. I'm going to end on a light note as well. I did get to go to Toledo Early College graduation today and got to give the diploma to Ella Eichenberg, our former board member's daughter, and really excited about her future as well as the other students. I believe Dr. Durant said, 78% of our students have an associate degree for free walking out the door. That's an incredible testament to the opportunities that are available in Toledo Public Schools. So we're going to continue to lead the way in that endeavor. All right, with that, I will move on to section 6, which is our consent agenda. Agenda items 6.01 through 6.30 are the consent agenda items. Board members may request to pull an item from the consent and move to discussion section of the agenda. Item 6.01 to 6.05 is Human Resource Committee. The chair is Polly Taylor Gherkin, co-chairs Randall Parker III. Item 6.06 to 6.14 is Budget and Finance Stabilization and Operations Committee. Chairs Bob Vasquez, co-chairs myself. Item 6.15 to 6.19 is Academic and Program Redesign Committee. Chair is Polly Taylor Gherkin, co-chair is myself. Item 6.20 to 6.22 is Legislative and Policy Committee. Chair is myself and co-chair Sheena Barnes. Item 6.23 to 6.25 is the Bridge Committee. Chair Randall Parker III, co-chair Sheena Barnes. Item 6.26 to 6.30 is approval of board meeting minutes. I would like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes.
Madam President, I just wanted to call attention to one of the items in the program redesign committee. I know it's been a heavy lift these months that we have worked so hard on this transformation plan, and I want to give you kudos for leading that starting in January. We've come a long way. We still have a long way to go. Just of interest would be that the 2 new courses are approved for 7th and 8th graders at Bowser High School for the 2 career tech pathways, the introduction to visual design, applications of AI, health and science technology, and mental health. So I think it's going to be the first dedicated course at the career tech level that is going to focus on mental health. So for those families who are choosing 7th and 8th grade at Bowser, that's kind of why we are doing it, is to have those particular opportunities to explore. The other thing that I think is noteworthy is courses don't get approved easily around here. That course had to go through the joint curriculum committee of the TAP and the TFT. So just wanted to put it on record that folks are working together to get this curriculum up and running, at least a first baby step to our actual transformation plan. And I wanted to just show some progress where it feels like the light super fast. It's also a whole lot to accomplish in a short amount of time. So I thought that was pretty cool that was brought to our curriculum committee last week, and we're ready for it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Varwig,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin,
Yes.
and Mr. Vasquez.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Section 7 of the agenda consists of reports and minutes from this month's committee meetings and are here for information and reference. No action is required, so we're going to proceed to section 8 of the agenda. Section 8 is our discussion items section, and 8.01 is a resolution in support of maintaining local property taxes for public education and opposing House Bill 420. So let me pull that out, and I will go ahead and read that. Whereas locally voted property taxes are the largest local funding source for Ohio public schools and play a critical role in supporting district operations and educational services. And whereas these funds directly support the recruitment and retention of high-quality teachers, ensure the safety and security of students and staff, and provide necessary classroom technology and resources. And whereas strong, well-funded public schools are vital to the academic success of students, the stability of our communities, and the long-term economic health of our region. And whereas without sufficient local property tax revenue, public schools would become heavily dependent on state-level funding decisions, which may not adequately reflect the unique needs of our local community. And whereas, in addition, pending Ohio House Bill 420 would eliminate continuing property tax levies and require all levies to expire and be periodically resubmitted to voters, fundamentally altering the local school funding framework. And whereas requiring repeated voter approval to maintain existing funding would create revenue instability, increase administrative costs, and impair long-term financial planning for school districts, and would undermine the district's ability to sustain consistent educational programming, staffing, and student services. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Toledo City School District, the board, hereby, 1, affirms its strong support for maintaining local property taxes as a critical and necessary funding source for public education. 2, advocates for policies that protect and sustain local funding streams to ensure continued investment in teachers, student safety, and educational resources. 3, urges policymakers to recognize the essential role of local property taxes in preserving the quality, equity, and stability of public education in our community. 4, opposes Ohio House Bill 420 and any similar legislation that would eliminate continuing levies or destabilize local school funding. 5, urges the Ohio General Assembly to reject such legislation and protect stable, locally controlled funding for public education. 6, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and immediately after its adoption. It is found and determined that all formal actions of this board relating to this resolution were taken in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Would you like to know how that will affect?
I absolutely would. If you'd like to, absolutely, if you'd like to intervene, I'd love that.
We have 6 levies that would be affected by this, all the pre-76 levies and then 5 additional ones. And those would total, or they do total to $81.3 million that the voters have approved, and now we would have to go back to the voters to ask again. So that is a significant amount of our property tax revenue that we would have to go back on the ballot for to get approved, not only this year, or not only before 2030, but then they would have to be renewed again in the future. So they'd be no longer continuing.
Okay.
Madam
do you say?
Madam President? I just want to say, Mr. Stick-Schulte, thank you for providing the comments that you just made. I think what happens so often is that we know that the things are negatively impacting the school district, our students and our families. And we don't spend a lot of time talking about how that happens. So we pass these things. So the fact that you brought up exactly how that's going to impact us is really important. And I'm glad that you stopped us and made sure that we talked about it a little bit more than just pass a resolution. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Yep, Ms. Barnes.
Thank you, Madam President. Once again, we have to take what's happening or what's given to us, the conversations that are being pushed out of state with a grain of salt, because I don't know about anybody else where you stand is not even a political thing. Gas prices is not low, food is not low, people are going to be losing their Medicaid at the end of the year. Things like that was supposed to be happening, right, for us. So when they say, hey, property taxes are bad, you shouldn't do it, that should be alarming to you, because right now they haven't said anything that we should or shouldn't do that actually helped us so far. But when we get to how it impacts the school, I've seen comments like, well, the kids should learn how I learned. Yes, you had property taxes that paid your public education or your private education. Let's just be real with that when you're in K through 12. But we're not thinking about the impacts to the hospitals, to fire and rescue, to sewer. These all things cover our property taxes. And I was not around, back in the day, and I was definitely not in England, but I don't think I want to wear high heels so I won't walk into poop and stuff because we don't have someone to do our sewage. I don't want to have to see loved ones die from common illnesses because we don't have a way to get them to the hospital in time. These things were and are provided because of our property taxes. It's not just we're giving money to the schools and they are just wasting it. No, these are sustaining lives and community. And so I want people to start questioning the noise. It's a lot of people talking loud right now. It's all noise. Ask them, when your house catch on fire, how many pails you want me to bring because we won't have fire anymore? This is the things that we're going to be reducing and losing beyond education. But let's think about how it's going to impact education. Maybe not today. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll marry a millionaire and be able to provide for TPS all the money that we lose when property taxes go away. Cool. But what type of education are we going to give our kids 10 years? Where your doctors are going to come from, your nurses, your teachers, the people who you're going to be depending on. I don't care how old, religion, race, you're going to depend on in the community. What kind of education are they going to have if we don't have any type of education system? So I just want people to start questioning the noise, because sometimes I feel like I'm going insane because some people throw stuff out there and it's like, yeah, that sounds good. I would love not to pay taxes because I want to keep my check. But I do want my kids to go to school, and I do want to be able to call fire or rescue or 911 when something happens to my house. And I like going to the hospital when I'm sick. So I think it's okay for me to take a little bit of my money out and pay for those things. But I want you to start questioning and pushing back, because so much is getting talked about. And I'm so afraid we're going to lose so much because we did so little. Rant over. Okay.
Anyone else?
Sorry.
Sure.
Madam President, we can spend just a couple more moments on this subject. To extend a little bit of what Ms. Barnes had mentioned, I think that there's a bunch of issues. I mean, when you think about eliminating taxes and property taxes, there's a whole conversation that has to happen that never happens. I think for most people, it's if I don't have to pay taxes, then that's it. And then they say, well, we'll let somebody else figure out some of the issues that Ms. Barnes brought up. But you don't hear any solutions coming from the state. There are no solutions. In this discussion, there are no solutions, there are no alternatives being discussed. And I wonder how in our society that can happen. And the only thing I can come to is that what happens sometimes with people is, I'm going to vote for and decide right now, this moment, what I want, and not really think about what the circumstances or how it's going to impact us personally, the society, families as a whole. And that just doesn't seem to me to be a real thought-out, intelligent way to approach issues. But I think that happens. I think it is. We'll figure it out. We'll decide this. We'll make this happen today. Then we'll just figure it out. I think that's just not a way to approach any kind of significant issue when it impacts so many people. And when you ask, I think that what people should do is go ask their legislator, what is your alternative? And see, I'd be interested if they could pass that on to me, whatever answer they get.
Yeah, sure.
The end game here is to destroy public education, make no mistake. There's no reasoning behind it. All you have to do is look at what's happening at the state in terms of the Fair School Funding Plan or any other way that the state is supposed to fund us. So first, on one hand, they want to not pay their share, and then on the other hand, at the same moment, they're messing with our ability to raise our local share. Even if we happen to live in a community that's willing to provide the local share, it's not enough that they're not bringing us state funds, but they got to make sure we also can't adequately collect funds from the local. So what is it? Is it state or is it local? Is it a combination? No, they don't care. They want to destroy public education. They want it to be a fee for service, a pay to play, whatever you want to call it, in the name of choice, but they absolutely know what they're doing. First, you sow distrust in the public schools, and then you systematically dismantle it. They know exactly what they're doing.
I'll just add that I was fortunate enough to be a part of an alliance of school board members that created an event called The Future of Property Taxes. And it really was about the public services and the impact of Axe the Tax and how that would impact all public services, not just public schools, but your libraries and, your fire and your police, just like Ms. Barnes had talked about. And, I think the more that we can provide education around this, I think the better. But to your point, Mr. Vasquez, what I see happening, unfortunately, is I don't think Exit Tax is going to get on the ballot this year, but that doesn't mean that it'll be back next year. And what that really does is allows the state legislature to continue bringing bills attacking public education, right? We talk about death by 1,000 cuts. This is what this is. That's what it is. And so that just gives them coverage because they're doing something, right?
Madam President, I think something else just happened today or yesterday that actually negatively impacts our ability to even be financially stable, and that is in the sports and how we're able to do that. We were hoping that we could do some very creative things that would be very helpful to our students, and they didn't vote for that either. So every way you turn, we try to come up with answers, and then they shoot those down.
Well, and we wonder, or I don't wonder, but they wonder why people are leaving the state of Ohio. Okay, with that said, we'll go ahead and vote. Treasurer?
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Barway?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move to 8.02, resolution approving the employment of P. Ryan Lockwood III as treasurer of the Toledo City School District. And I'll turn this over to Mr. Vasquez to read.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a resolution approving the employment of P. Ryan Lockwood III as treasurer of the Toledo City School District. Whereas the Board of Education of the Toledo City School District, the board, is authorized pursuant to Ohio law, including revised code section 3313.22, to employ a treasurer as the chief fiscal officer of the district, and whereas the board has identified a need to ensure continuity, stability, and effective oversight of the district's financial operations during a transition in the treasurer's office, and whereas P. Ryan Lockwood III, Mr. Lockwood, holds a valid Ohio driver or treasurer's license pursuant to revised code 3301.074 and possesses the qualifications, experience, and professional expertise necessary to serve in this role, and whereas the board desires to employ Mr. Lockwood in a limited interim capacity beginning June 1st, 2026, to assist with transition and continuity of operations, and whereas the board further desires to employ Mr. Lockwood as the treasurer of the district for a term commencing August 1st, 2026, and ending July 31st, 2028, pursuant to a written contract setting forth the terms and conditions of such employment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Toledo City School District hereby, 1, approves the employment of P. Ryan Lockwood III as interim treasurer of the district for the period of June 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2026, under the terms and conditions set forth in the interim contract presented to the board. 2, approves the employment of P. Ryan Lockwood III as treasurer of the district for the period of August 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2028, under the terms and conditions set forth in the treasurer contract presented to the board. 3, ratifies the board president's execution of the interim contract and treasurer contract on behalf of the board. 4, authorizes the superintendent and treasurer to take any actions necessary to implement and administer the terms of such contracts and ensure continuity in the district's financial operations. 5, declares that the resolution shall be in full force in effect from and immediately after its adoption, and determines all formal actions of this board relating to the adoption of this resolution were taken in compliance with all applicable legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Madam President, I request a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Vasquez?
No, congratulations. Looking forward to it. We are disappointed, but we know he can't stay forever. Mr. Sexualty, you and I have worked very closely together, and I'm looking forward to working very closely with you, Mr. Lockwood. We have a lot of challenges ahead of us, a lot. And it's going to take a lot for us to try to figure out, and I think you've heard some of the discussion going on here. So, but it's a challenge. We accept the challenge. We're excited about what the future holds, and excited that you're going to help us get through this and make sure this district is the best district in the state of Ohio and possibly the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations, Ryan. Ryan and Ryan, we'll get used to that, right? We'll get to know each other in the HR committee. As you know, we have very active board committees, and they all have liaisons from either the cabinet or the superintendent or treasurer's office. So we'll get to know each other there and look forward to it. If I look at this resolution, we were talking about our Ryan, our first Ryan. Did we just rope you into an extra month? Did we get that extra month out of you? No. Because I saw this 2-month interim thing, and I'm like, oh, does that mean Ryan will? No, he's out. All right, I'm just checking. I thought maybe there was a little quiet extra month we were going to get out of you. But, all right, thank you.
Ms. Barnes?
Madam President, thank you. So, Mr. Lockwood, I will be calling you Ryan because I couldn't say Ryan's last name. So it's ingrained in me just to say the first name. So if I do call you Ryan, it's because I know your name now is easier to pronounce. However, just to stay cautious, I will be calling you Mr. Ryan. I want to say welcome to the TPS family. I believe personally you do have some big shoes to fill because I don't say old, Ryan, because you're not old. I mean, it's like, but Ryan up here, Ryan A, Ryan B, I guess, right? And we have Ryan C, D. But Ryan is is amazing at helping me understand financial, which is very hard. I used to be a C plus, maybe a D plus student in math, and so you have very big shoes to fill with that alone. Besides the challenges that Mr. Vasquez have said, and so I am really excited to be working with you, and Ryan, I am really excited for your next chapter because you deserve all the good things.
Mr. Parker?
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations, Mr. Lockwood. We are looking forward to working with you and excited. I believe that if anybody understands more than anyone the job of a treasurer, you know about the bullseye, whether it's on your chest or your back. So we're really excited about the opportunity to grow with you and to learn with you. Ryan Steck-Schulte, we are going to miss you. Thank you for being who you are. My colleagues allowed me the opportunity to be appointed in 2015 when you were selected to be our treasurer. And so enjoy your life. And I got your number, and now we can't tell jokes next to each other, but nevertheless, we thank you for your service and everything that you've done for this district. Again, congratulations, Mr. Lockwood. Look forward to working with you, sir.
Thank you. We certainly welcome Mr. Lockwood. You do have big shoes to fill. Ryan, I'm not saying anything nice about you right now, so we'll do that later. I do want to take a moment just to thank Ohio School Board Association and my colleagues for the extremely streamlined process that we embarked upon. Most districts take much more time, and unfortunately we were in a position where we needed to move ahead and be expedited approach. So we handled it, and we're moving on, and we welcome you. So at this point, let's take a vote.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Varwig,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin,
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez.
Yes.
At this time, Mr. Lockwood, if you'd like to come up with your family, you're more than welcome to. Introduce everyone, say a few words.
Thank you. So, they want to come up? All right. Start first with, honestly, a word of thanks and a word of excitement. I'm excited for this opportunity. Thank you to the Board of Education for making this go through, and Dr. Grant, thank you for being part of that committee. Hopefully, again, keep TPS where it is. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention something about Springfield local schools. I told Dr. Grant in the interview I've been so happy about how TPS has been such a big supporter of the outlying districts in Lewis County as well. So when you give a message, it helps us as well, and we're grateful for that. And Springfield helped really hone my financial skills. I started there with $600,000 and was able to grow our carryover to a very healthy level, not unhealthy per state standards, but healthy for the district. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about my wife sharing me with boards of education over the last 25-ish years as I've worked in public ed. And then my daughter Evelyn, and Evelyn's taught me a lot of things throughout my life with her. She's 17 years old and autism down here. So yeah. I'm feeling it when you said that. In my interview, I used the word resilient, and I think that's an appropriate word based on a lot of conversations tonight with our challenges with our legislature. I was happy to hear that our union used that it's been a challenging year. It has been a challenging year for all of us, and that's across public education. That isn't just a Toledo public school problem. That's a problem across public ed. And so, with using the word resilience, that's what I want to bring to the table. I want to help bring TPS back to where it wants to be. I want to fight at the state level for all the students at TPS. And talking about my special ed population, yeah. I want to make sure that those kids get the life skills needed to live a successful life past high school. That's a very important part of my life, yeah, as a dad. So again, thank you all for this opportunity. I promise to work very hard and help TPS continue to be awesome. Thank you.
Sure, if you guys would like a picture, we can certainly go do that. So Mr. Lockwood, if you would entertain us. Okay, we're going to move on to section 9, which are walk-ins. Are there any walk-ins this evening? Okay, we'll move on to section 10. Section 10 is our early childhood education action items. It looks like there's no action items or meeting this month. The chair is Sheena Barnes and co-chair is Randall Parker III. Are there any, there's no ECE action items? Okay, great. Section 11 of the agenda normally consists of early childhood education reports and minutes from this month's committee meetings. However, due to the meeting cancellation, there are none to report. We're going to move on to section 12. And are there any early childhood walk-ins this evening? Okay. We're going to proceed to section 13 through 15, which we'll start with superintendent comments.
Yes, again, congratulations, Mr. Lockwood. We look forward to bringing you as a member of the team. So thank you for all that you do for Springfield and Northwest Ohio, and we're excited to have you on board. So again, Mr. Tech Schulte, appreciate you over all the years you spent with me, and appreciate all that you've done for this district, the accolade that you have achieved, and can be even prouder in essence of all that you've accomplished. We've had a lot going on in the month of May. Obviously, all schools are having activities, and whether it's Clears Day or Decoration Day, but this season is graduation. So there's 12 graduations. Pre-Med Health and Science Academy will have its first graduation this year. So I know Pastor Parker and a few will be there to give his first ceremony. But Toledo Early College was today's show, and again, just as Ms. Barwick said, 78% of the graduating class received an associate degree May 2nd from the University of Toledo, and today they received a diploma. So we're just excited to move through the season, but again, now and forevermore, keep us proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Schulte.
Congratulations, Ryan. Look forward to working with you over the next month. We'll get you brought up to speed, hopefully. We're ready to go. And then we'll keep watching the legislature right now because we're getting ready to go into the lame duck session, and it seems like there's a lot of bills that would be coming out, and if I'm not mistaken, Brenner didn't get reelected, right?
No, he didn't.
Correct.
So I'm expecting a few extra ones from him. Just
Correct.
talk it to us one more time.
Yeah, we have one in the Senate and one in the House gonna do.
Yes, his departing shots. Okay. All right, board members.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate my comments about it being an exciting season. Graduation's always exciting. I also want to extend my thanks to the Ohio School Board Association for their assistance in this. But I also want to thank my colleagues, and I also want to thank Madam President. You're right, that was one of the most expedited hirings of such an important position that I've ever seen and been a part of. You know, when you take the transitional, and I'll talk about it some more, maybe a little bit later, another meeting, but when you take what we did in the transitional transformation plan, and all the things that you did putting that together, and I think it's important for people to understand that the president was responsible for organizing all of that, all the way to organizing our committees going into this year, knowing what we were going to be facing, and putting everything together. And then, on top of all of that, with the community meetings, everything we had to do, which was also an expedited timeline to be able to take on the task of finding a new treasurer. And Mr. Schulte didn't do it on purpose, so I understand that. But the timing of everything just without somebody who has the organizational skills that you have, wouldn't have gone as well as they did. So, Madam President, I want to extend thanks to you and also to my colleagues. Thank you.
Ms. Gherkin.
I think you mentioned earlier today that we're exactly 4 months in from when our organizational meeting, we set this plan into motion, or tasked the administration to come up with the plan, and then the plan actually got unveiled just a few weeks ago. So we really have been up against it, and I too appreciate my colleagues, and particularly your leadership, Mrs. Varwig, both on this, getting this underway for the whole transformation plan, at least the first part of it, and on this treasure search. We do know that this is not, I mean, this transformation plan that's out there, that most of our cabinet is at a meeting right now trying to help families understand what their options are going to be, and there are more meetings the rest of the week. These aren't just buildings that are closing, these are communities that are being disrupted. So I really do have faith that our administrative leadership is going to handle these difficult times with intentionality and with a lens towards understanding, what's happening. And that's before we even start talking about employees and people who are going to be disrupted from their jobs or possibly even lose their jobs. So we still have a lot of work to do. Our HR committee will continue to meet every other week to get through this and do our very best to minimize the damage that this trauma is causing. So I know we're harping on it a lot, but I also need folks to recognize the amount of work that is going to go into this, not only for our board, but for our administration, day in and day out, to pull it off. I am looking forward to seeing where it takes us.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes.
Thank you, Madam President. First, for folks who are viewing, I always say the saddest thing of my experience so far being a board member is meetings only being packed when the fire has already happened. So hopefully people are viewing this. Even if your child is not impacted by the transition, I think you should still go to those meetings to get the correct information, because it's still so much misinformation going on about what's the process. And so I have seen it on Facebook, and let's rely on information that is coming from us versus what people think we are saying out loud. It's not through a cousin on Facebook that you really don't know. The second thing I want to talk about, because both of my colleagues said about disruption and dismantling, I want to throw out there, and I'm going to look to our legal amazing queen, because I don't think the bill has passed yet, but it's a bill in House bill that is allotting money that we have for public education to be taken. I want to say 160 something mil, something like that is going to be taken to be used to buy the buildings that they are forcing us to close. This is a bill right now in the House that is trying to allow charter schools, it's right now charters and not parochial school, but just charter schools, to buy empty public schools buildings. And as Madam President has mentioned, we have a lot of those, especially in the urban district now, because we are forced to do so, to consolidate, to make sure we are sustainable in the future for the community and the students that we serve. So just think about that as we are moving into these things. What you're seeing school districts do across Ohio is the reaction to the attack, plain and simple. Every school board member I talk to across Ohio, and actually in other states, who are also consolidating buildings and unfortunately releasing some of their employees, they don't want to do this. But once again, we have to stay up on it, our information, making sure that it's the right information. Question us, hold us accountable. But please show up and know that we cannot control the purse strings. That's at the state level. We just cash in the checks. So if they cut the purse strings, we can't cash no checks. So let's talk about who's holding the purse strings and see what they're doing at the top too. So hold accountable for local board, also at the state, and then the federal as well, because your vote does have power. And if you don't believe that, while they're trying to take it away right now so forcefully. Also, once again, I am really happy, y'all. Like, it's a lot going on, but I am happy about graduation. So
Thank you. Bishop Parker.
Thank you, Madam President. As my colleagues have stated, and I just kind of want to put my part to this train of moving forward, that we've had to deal with a lot in a short time. But we've come together, and I do want to publicly salute and celebrate, Madam President, the vision that you have given to us to get to this point. in this place. And my colleagues, I want to salute and celebrate you, realizing that I hear Ms. Barwick say that we can do the hard things. And so it has been hard things, and we've been able to continue to navigate through them. An animal that's backed against the wall has two choices: to adjust or attack. And we have the animal in us, known as TPS, has attacked with proper information. We've attacked with accountability. We've attacked with transparency. And Ms. Barnes said it best: we can come and have these meetings, and people talk loud, but they don't talk long. And even with the community and our administrators this week in the community meetings, I do know that there were some people that were there yesterday that left with a better understanding because of the opportunity to be able to take time to understand the direction that we're trying to go. So again, I say to my colleagues, let's continue to stay in the fight. Let's continue to stay in the fight and realize that the bigger issue is the barrel and not each other. Finally, Ms. Barnes, you said you would not cry about your child graduating. Maury says that's a lie. As a matter of fact, today in my memories on Facebook was when my twins graduated from Bowser High School. And I believe that there's no greater joy as a parent than to give your child their passport to their purpose. So I'm really excited about graduation season, and go TPS, forever proud.
Yeah, I think I would reiterate everything that you guys have talked about. We have done a huge lift in a very short amount of time. Usually districts take a year to go through some of this process, and there's not one of us up here that is not heartbroken about the decisions that we have had to make, sleepless nights, and ITs all for $1.56 an hour, right? But I want people to understand, obviously if it was about the money, we wouldn't be in these positions. We care, and we care a great deal. And it is absolutely gut-wrenching to dismantle communities. And I place the majority of the blame on the State House. And I think our community needs to get more engaged. So I guess back on us to help engage them in this fight. Because I don't know about you guys, I would imagine you feel the same as I do, but I'm going to die on the sword of public ed. So with that, I would call for an adjournment.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, treasurer, call the roll, please.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mrs. Varwig?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin?
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
Like, I gotta go home, I gotta get up out of here. Oh, that was hilarious, like.